The $4 billion question. How Dana White became a condition of the UFC's success. Let's rewind to 2016. The Ultimate Fighting Championship, the UFC, was already a massive force. It had grown from a scrappy, fringe sport into a global phenomenon, but the promotion was about to hit its biggest milestone yet, a jaw-dropping $4 billion sale. For most people, a deal that big sounds like a dream come true. For Dana White, the outspoken, passionate president who had been the face of the organization for years, it felt like the end of an era. He feared the new owners would show him the door. He didn't want to sell. The Fertitta brothers, Lorenzo and Frank, who had been his partners on this incredible journey, were ready to move on. Dana, however, was still all in. He was a builder, not a seller. But when your partners are ready to walk away with a multi-billion-dollar payday, you have to be happy for them, right? The audacious bet that started it all. To really understand this moment, we have to go back to the beginning. In 2001, the Fertitta brothers bought the UFC for a seemingly unbelievable $2 million. At the time, it was more of a curiosity than a combat sports league. It was a chaotic, often misunderstood spectacle. People laughed at them. They thought the Fertittas were crazy. But they had a vision. Alongside Dana, they poured their hearts, their time, and their money into it. They transformed it. They professionalized it. They turned it into something that demanded respect. They took a long shot, and it paid off in a way no one could have predicted. Dana was right there with them, every step of the way. He was the energy, the voice, the unapologetic promoter who could sell a fight like no one else. For years, the trio was inseparable, a perfect storm of business savvy, promotional genius, and pure passion. They built the UFC into an absolute powerhouse, a modern sports empire, a crossroads, and a huge twist. So, when the $4 billion offer came from Endeavor, the moment was bittersweet. Dana was happy for his friends and partners, but he couldn't shake the feeling that his time was up. He figured they'd sell the company, and then the three of them would just find the next big thing to conquer. As Dana explained in an interview, he didn't think he'd stay on. "I'm still in a bunch of different businesses with them," he thought. "We own a lot of different companies together, so I just figured, what's next? What are we gonna do next? And we'll move on to the next thing." But the new owners saw something the Fertitta brothers, in their moment of wanting to sell, had maybe overlooked. They didn't just want the UFC. They wanted Dana White. He wasn't just an employee. He was the beating heart of the promotion. They told him point blank, "Nobody is gonna buy this if you don't stay." That's an incredible thing to hear. Imagine being told that you are so essential to a business that a multi-billion-dollar deal depends on you being there. It wasn't just a job offer, it was a recognition of everything he had built and everything he represented. Dana was a non-negotiable part of the deal. His passion, his vision, and his deep connection to the fan base was simply too valuable to lose. Without him, the UFC wasn't the UFC. The future is now. In hindsight, as Dana himself admits, it was the greatest thing that could have happened. He stayed on, and the UFC has only continued to soar. He's still there, pushing the limits, finding new stars, and creating unforgettable moments. The organization has since merged with another giant, the WWE, creating a new entertainment behemoth. And in a monumental move, a new broadcast deal was announced, one that could change the game forever and bring the sport to an even bigger audience. Dana White is still at the helm, and the sport he helped build is poised for its next chapter. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most valuable part of a company isn't the building or the assets, but the people who make it what it is. And for the UFC, Dana White has always been, and continues to be, that person. A legacy built on instinct. This whole story isn't just about a business deal. It's about passion and guts. Dana White wasn't just a figurehead. He was in the trenches. He helped save the sport from near extinction and grew it into a global phenomenon. When the Fertittas were ready to sell, it wasn't a rejection of him, it was the culmination of a shared dream. They hit the jackpot. But what Endeavour realized was that the jackpot was tied to Dana. He was the relentless showman who could turn rivals into superstars. He was the one who fought for better regulation, who pushed for athlete development, and who tirelessly promoted every single fight, from the biggest title bouts to the up-and-coming prelims. The new owners understood that they weren't just buying the company's assets, they were buying its spirit. And that spirit was Dana White.